10 years on YouTube, and you'd think I would have figured out an intro by now. SakuraCon is in 3 weeks, which I just found out today. I was looking at the calendar and was like, oh my God, Lucia, look at that. I have like 25 days until con, and I told myself I wasn't gonna con crunch, and yet here we are. So instead of doing this 2 nights before the con, we're doing this now. We're getting this out of the way, okay? I'm not gonna con crunch. I have other things that I need to do. The fun fact, I first watched Death Note during 2020 while I was babysitting somebody's kids, and I never actually finished it. After L died, was murdered, I was like, all right, well that's enough, and stopped watching. So you can call me a fake fan when I say, we're about to go make a Misa cosplay. Woo!
Nice.
She looked cool, and I wanted to be a little goth, you know, a little alternative, because I technically kind of am, I just don't super dress like it. Also, peep the background. I've never done a room tour because my bedroom is never like fully clean, but this is one of the walls in my bedroom. Like, anyways, I really like putting crap up on my walls. I am the farthest thing from a minimalist you will ever meet. I am a maximalist, and I need to have my pretty things all around me all the time. Anyways, let's go make a cosplay. I'm not beating around the bush this time. Here's a video of everything that I ended up either using, thought I would need, or put aside to use for this costume. So we have a wig, the costume, clothing, accessories, pins, needles, scissors, jewelry making supplies, everything that I ended up using or wanting to use in the making of this costume. Now, for those of you who might not know what Misa Amane looks like, this is what she looks like in the manga, and this is what she looks like in the anime. Her costume is pretty simple, so I'm gonna be mostly working with things I have already. Like this skirt I found at Value Village, which I'm gonna end up cutting shorter because I really like the lace at the bottom and the texture of it. I already owned this skirt that I'm gonna use underneath to ruffle and kind of floof out the skirt, as well as it has safety shorts built in, and I like that. This corset I have had in my closet for probably 10 years and have never really worn for a costume, and it kind of looked like the best one for this. I couldn't find the exact listing because I had gotten this on Wish like several years ago, but I was able to find this Amazon listing, which is on the left, and then I also had another idea that you could possibly use of one from AliExpress on the right. Now for the skirt, I measured about 13 inches from the bottom of the lace and marked that with pins, and then marked around the entire circumference of the bottom of the skirt, so that way I would have an even skirt length. And then I put it on my dress form, which you don't need to do, you could cut it flat, but I then used the marking of the pins and then just cut off that bottom part of the skirt. Then I took that bottom section of the skirt, I folded down from the top about 1 inch over, so that way I could create a channel to pull a ribbon through, and then I just sewed that down with a zigzag stitch, so that way it would kind of cover that raw edge, but the fabric didn't fray very much, so I didn't need to finish it too well. Then after that was done, I cut a very long strand of this ribbon that I got at the thrift store, and I singed the edge with a lighter. This only works if your ribbon is a synthetic ribbon. If it is a natural fiber, it will just set on fire. I used this really cool ribbon turner to turn all of that ribbon through the channel that I had sewn in the skirt for the waistband. Now, this is a really special tool and it doesn't cost very much. I got it on AliExpress, a set of 3 for I believe $7. And if you do any amount of turning of any kind of ribbon, you can use this for elastic, anything like that. If you do any of that, I cannot suggest getting one of these enough. It is an absolute lifesaver and saved so much time. Now look how swishy it is. So fun fact, the corset I'm putting onto my dress form right now is the corset that I wear beneath the other corset, and I'll get to that later. Now I still have the top half of the skirt that I used to make this one, so I'm just going to hem this, and now I get 2 skirts for the price of 1. Now, this almost entirely takes care of like the clothing aspects. Let's go make some jewelry. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the jewelry I'm gonna make for this. To start with, my ears aren't, I technically they're pierced, but one of them has like a major issue, so I have to wear clip-ons. So I'm gonna be making clip-ons. You don't have to make clip-ons. I'm making clip-on earrings. So let's just get that out of the way, okay? I got these at Michael's. A lot of the stuff that I'm using today, I got at Michael's because it's what I have in town. There's a really big sale today at Michael's, so I was able to get the things that I wanted without having to spend an arm and a leg. The most expensive thing I got was this charm, but I wanted a big cross, and it was very difficult at the thrift store finding a necklace with a cross, and that I think is really interesting. Because I went to the thrift store a couple times looking for stuff for this cosplay, and I could not find any necklaces or anything with crosses on it. You know, I probably could have gone to like the more Christian thrift stores, but I didn't feel like supporting organizations that support taking away trans rights and LGBT rights, so I wasn't gonna support them. Anyways, I got this at Michael's. This was about $9. I got these because I'm gonna use the silver ones to make earrings. These I bought at Michael's quite a while ago. I've used them in cosplay before, but these packs of things are also from Michael's. It's basically just the jump rings and some of the connectors. So I'm going to make some earrings, and I'm going to make a necklace. And then for the choker, I'm using my choker from my Misa Cosplay. This was bought on Amazon back in like 2020. So you literally just look for a black leather choker. You can really use any kind of choker that you have. I also have this one and others. You could tie a ribbon around your neck, okay? I could use this one, honestly. It doesn't really matter. For the tights and the arm socks, I have this that I bought probably at Spencer's, like many a year ago. Hers are lacy in the reference image in the particular outfit that I'm going for, but I didn't feel like cutting up the one lace shirt that I have. But what I did have was a pair of tights that I was getting rid of because the feet had just blown out and they were no longer usable. So I cut the feet off, and then I cut the legs off, and then I basically turned them into safety shorts. But then I still had these, and guess what? Ta-da! A sleeve. If I had lace, I would put lace on the bottom and the top, but unfortunately, I am not in possession of lace right now. I have these tights. They are also not lace, but they do have lace at the top, and they have the little strap connectors, so I shall wear those. And then if I'm feeling spicy, I might add these socks, but probably not. Let's make some jewelry. This little toolbox I have here is also from Michael's, and I kind of swear by it. It's kind of cool. I didn't measure how much chain I would need. I kind of just eyeballed it because that's how I'm doing this entire project, but I went with that's enough and then separated the link with 2 of the pliers. Very easy. I then fed that chain through the connector piece at the top of the big cross. Now, I did speed this up because it took me an insane amount of time to get that chain through the hole, because the chain was just the tiniest bit too big, and it would have been a lot smarter for me to like feed like an extra string or something through, because oh my gosh, this was so difficult. Be smarter than me, please. I also unnecessarily added a claw clip for this to close. I could have just actually closed them together, but I wanted to make it look, you know, nice and professional, but this does entirely slip over my head. And would you look at that? I just made a necklace. I don't know where that accent came from. The earrings were done in like a similar fashion. I took the earrings out, I put a jump ring on them. I then put that jump ring onto the ear thing. Oh my gosh, what is that called? I know what those are called. The earring part that sticks to my ear. And just like that, we have a pair of earrings, and they are stinking cute if I do say so myself. Like, look at them. They are very cute. That's kind of the end of the costume. So now I'm gonna just show you how I styled the wig and basically what wig this is. This is a Lolita wig that I got off of AliExpress for like $20. This is the same wig that I used for my Supergirl cosplay. You'll notice that it's not the really bright yellow blonde that is the canon, and that it's more of a caramel color, and that's just because it looks better on my skin tone. Every time I have worn one of those like really yellow blonde wigs, I look completely washed out. I'm way too pale for that bright yellow. And then to finish off the cosplay, I painted my nails black because it is literally the only nail polish color I own. Technically, I know she has red nails, but I went with black because, again, it's the only nail polish I own because I don't wear nail polish. Final thoughts. I look nothing like myself. Every time I see an image of myself dressed like this, it does not register as me. And like, I know when I wear this to con, no one is gonna know it's me. I'll walk up to my friends and I'll be like, hey guys, and they're not gonna realize it's me. So that's gonna be funny. That's gonna be very funny. Other than that, to get this top corset to fit, I had to wear another corset underneath of it, because this one I bought so many years ago that I have put on like 15 pounds since the last time, like when I bought this corset. So I am like laced into this thing. It is doing its best, as it were. Things I do really like, the skirt. The skirt is really cute. I'm actually wearing like 2 skirts, and the skirt that I'm wearing has built-in safety shorts. And so no one is seeing anything, and I really like that because these skirts are very short, and if I bend over, you are going to see more than you ever bargained for, and more than I consent to anyone seeing, and more than anyone else is consenting to see of me. So yeah, shorts underneath of this type of safety shorts is a must. It's a lot more boob chest area than I am used to wearing for cosplay, that I'm like wearing out. So I'm glad that there's like hair to kind of cover it, because that is a lot of my chest. That is so much. Anyways, I do look kind of swole in it, so that's nice. Overall, I like it. Yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about it. I like it. It was very easy. This took me like 2 hours, I think less than. And that was because I stopped to eat and kept getting distracted by YouTube videos. So 2-hour costume to like assemble and make very little things for. Good, nice. Fun fact, I do not own a Death Note, but you know what I do own? Several Stray Kids albums, specifically of the 5-star variety, and it looks aesthetically close enough to the Death Note. So that's what I was posing with. So every time I opened the page, it was mostly to Ian and many other members, but the way that my book wants to open is just to this man's face. So every time I'm like, oh wow, I'm looking in the Death Note, it's just this face is staring back at me. So, swear to God, if this gets sent to the Stray Kids group chat by the actual members, I don't know. I did this to myself. So, you know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.